in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Manladu TV India, News गांव से, संवाद सारोकार न्यूज, Bharat Post News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today is World Blood Donors Day. So today our topic is role of youth in blood donation. Tears of a mother cannot save her child, but your blood can. World Blood Donor Day is held on June 14th each year. The event was organized for the first time in 2005 by a joint initiative of the World Health Organization, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, to raise awareness of the need for safe blood and blood products, and to thank blood donors for their voluntary life-saving gifts of blood. World Blood Donor Day is celebrated on the birthday or anniversary of Karl Landsteiner, who was born on June 14, 1868. Landsteiner was awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery of the ABO blood group system. Transfusion of blood and blood products helps and save millions of lives every year. It can help patients who are suffering from life-threatening conditions to live longer and with higher quality of life, and supports complex medical and surgical procedures. It also has an essential life-saving role in maternal and perinatal care. Access to safe and sufficient blood and blood products can help reduce rates of death and disability due to severe bleeding during delivery and after childbirth. In many countries, there is not an adequate supply of safe blood, and blood services face the challenges of making sufficient blood available while also ensuring its quality and safety. An adequate supply can only be assured through regular donations by voluntary unpaid blood donors. The WHO's goal is for all countries to obtain all their blood supplies from voluntary unpaid donors. In 2014, 60 countries have their national blood supplies based on 99 to 100% voluntary unpaid blood donations, with 73 countries still largely depend on family and paid donors. For 2021, the World Blood Donor Day slogan will be "Give blood and keep the world beating." The message highlights the essential contribution blood donors make to keeping the world pulsating by saving lives and improving others' health. It reinforces the global call for more people all over the world to donate blood regularly and contribute to better health. The specific objectives of this year's campaign are to thank blood donors in the world and create wider public awareness of the need for regular unpaid blood donation, promote the community values of blood donation in enhancing community solidarity and social cohesion, encourage youth to embrace the humanitarian call to donate blood and inspire others to do the same, celebrate the potential of youth as partners in promoting health. Blood donations in India are conducted by several organizations and hospitals by organizing blood donation camps. Donors can also visit blood banks in hospitals to donate blood or directly to a receiver. Despite the shortage of donated blood, efforts by the government and various organizations have led to a decrease in the demand and supply gap over the years. The number of voluntary blood donors increased from 54.4% in 2006-07 into 83.1% in 2011-12, with the number of blood units increasing from 4.4 million units in 2006-07 to 9.3 million units in 2012-2013. In 2016, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare reported a donation of 10.9 million units against a requirement of 12 million units. Blood donors in India donate around 350 milliliters of blood. After a donation, the donor are provided with refreshments, which usually include a glucose drink, biscuits, and fruits. Some organizations, after transportation facilities, apart from providing certificates or badges as a gratitude. The history of voluntary blood donation in India dates back to 1942 during the Second World War, when blood donors were required to help the wounded soldiers. The first blood bank was established in Kolkata, West Bengal in March 1942 at the All India Institute of Hygiene and Public Health and was managed by the Red Cross. The donors were mostly government employees and people from the Anglo-Indian community who donated blood for a humanitarian cause. The number of voluntary donors declined after the war and donors had to be paid for the blood. Leela Mulgaonkar, a social reformer, initiated voluntary blood donation camps in Mumbai from 1954. The 1960s saw many blood banks open in different cities. Under his stalwartship in 1975, Mr. J.G. Jolly, the president of Indian Society of Blood Transfusion and Immunohematology, declared 1st October as the National Voluntary Blood Donation Day, which has been observed throughout the country ever since. The HIV pandemic in the 1980s led to the government setting up the National AIDS Control Organization in 1992 to oversee the policies in preventing the spread of AIDS. Subsequently, the National AIDS Control Program was launched, which led to drastic improvement in patient screening and hygiene transfusion procedures. A public interest litigation was filed in the Supreme Court in 1996 to abolish the practice of selling blood, which became effective on 1st January 1998. Selling or donating blood in exchange for money is illegal under the National Blood Transfusion Services Act 2007, and those found convicted may face a prison sentence of up to 3 months with fine. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, it is prudent to provide the blood bank with details of vaccine while donating blood. The deferral period for blood donors is 14 days after receiving each or any dose of the currently available COVID-19 vaccine in the country, subject to the condition that the donor conforms to the other norms for blood donation. Based on the history of blood donor to COVID-19 infection, individuals should be deferred from donating blood for 28 days from day of discharge or of isolation and complete recovery from the disease, including radiological and virological clearance. The novel coronavirus disease has disrupted blood transfusion service worldwide. Despite blood transfusion services taking several precautionary measures to minimize the risk of COVID-19 during blood donation, donors became anxious regarding the risk of COVID-19 infection during the donation, and the blood transfusion services were facing the inevitable hazard of blood shortage. The blood donation activities were thought to be against the social distancing protocols. As all corporates and educational institutes were closed, the blood transfusion services, BTS, were having a difficult time arranging the outdoor blood drivers. Diminished donor inflow, lack of uniform donor selection criteria during the initial period, fear of COVID-19 spread to blood donors and staff personnel, shortage of available blood units, staff personnel transportation, handling of medical records, and concerns about transfusion transmitting COVID-19 were the major challenges faced in blood centers. Personal invitations of donors, public announcements, and in-house donation drives were implemented to improve donor inflow. A special focus of this year's campaign will be the role of young people in ensuring a safe blood supply. In many countries, young people have been at the forefront of activities and initiatives aimed at achieving safe blood supplies through voluntary, non-remunerated blood donations. Young people form a large sector of the population in many societies and are generally full of idealism, enthusiasm, and creativity. And to discuss our today's topic, the role of youth in blood donation, we have youth guests with us, and we have our chief guest, who is I would like to invite and introduce. He is Shri Madhabhushi Madan Gopal IAS. Shri Madan Gopal is the former additional chief secretary of Government of Karnataka. Mr. Gopal has a master's degree in commerce and postgraduate diploma in journalism. Mr. Gopal is also the former health secretary of Government of Karnataka. He was selected into the Indian Administrative Service in 1984 and placed in Karnataka cadre. During his more than 3 decades of service in Karnataka, he has served the state and government of India in many departments, including health and family welfare, higher education, food and civil supplies, forest, environment and ecology, water resources, mines and geology. He also served as executive director for World Bank funded Jala Samardhane Yojana Integrated Tank Development Project, Commissioner for Public Instructions, Bangalore, Registrar, Central University of Hyderabad. He has attended various workshops and seminars at national and international level as a resource person on community mobilization, non-formal education, health, rural development, empowerment, and other related issues. He is also a visiting professor for International Institute on Chronic Hypoxia, La Paz, Bolivia. He is life member of IIPA, New Delhi, ASCI, Hyderabad, Bangalore International Center, and Sri Ramana Maheshi Center for Learning, Bangalore. He has published many books and presented papers at national and international forums. He has visited several 60+ countries to attend seminars and workshops, and also as part of the study team on various development and educational issues. His hobbies including mountaineering, traveling, reading, and photography. Welcome, Shri Madan Gopal, on our show. Mr. Gopal, you have heard the report which I read, which is it's quite disturbing, because earlier also the India were not touching the target, whatsoever the targets we require the blood. And in last 1.5 years, when this COVID-19 started, the conditions is bad. And today we are celebrating the World Donors Day. Now, when we are celebrating or observing that day, and because you were the health secretary, you know the condition or the infrastructure of health more than all of us. Definitely, we would like to know from you the role of youth in blood donation. Shri Madhabhushi Madan Gopal IAS, please.
Thank you. Namaste, Lal Goyal ji, all the distinguished participants and the listeners. At the outset, I would like to say that sharing something, donating something, have a tremendous spiritual significance in India. It's a part of our Bharatiya values and then cultural system which we have. Because we heard the stories from the past. Someone, whether you have something or whether you have a little, not necessarily that you have to have so much. Fortunately, you have so much blood anyhow. So we donating clothes, donating food, that's working for education, working for health. These are all a part and parcel of the Indian ethos and then Bharatiya values. This is the background I'd like to begin my talk. Secondly, when you are talking about why do you need a blood at all? Why do you need to have a donors? because there are two types of a blood replacement takes place to the blood banks. One is that replacement blood donors on one side and voluntary donors on other side. Incidentally, if you see the total availability of the blood, that I will come subsequently. Point is that I narrate an experience from my own visit many years ago. I've been to a small village in Raichur district in Karnataka. Also went to the taluka level and did a small review. I was shocked. I was shocked to find that one taluka in 3 months' time, there are 72 maternal deaths. This is, I am talking about 2006 or 7. 72 maternal deaths. Maternal is that every 1 lakh deliveries actually. Maternal mortality rate is one of the significant indicator to show how the public health system is working. Maternal health care is a very, very important aspect of a public health system. Then we asked one researcher to go into the detail, submit a report. To my utter shock and disbelief, what I found that causes for the maternal mortality, maternal deaths is a very, medical reasons are different. Non-medical reasons played an important role. What are the non-medical reasons? First and the foremost is the non-availability of blood. This is very critical. Non-availability of blood in time of need for a pregnant woman. Because when I am saying that a maternal health care, it talks of the maternal health care includes health care during pregnancy, health care during childbirth, during lactation. These all the aspects are covered in the maternal health care. So I was shocked. I said that why can't we provide health aspects, medical aspects? As you need a transport, you need a first referral units, you need a bowels operators, you need a facilities to do cross sections at the level of community health centers. That is apart. Availability of the blood in time. Then we found that this is how the life, youth, you should understand that your blood will save not only mother, it will save 2 lives, mother and child. This is a very, very critical aspect we have to see. Second, again, I'll give another experience. I was traveling with one of my friends, very well-known doctor in Karnataka, driving from Mysore to Bangalore. Somewhere around Channapatna, we saw one motorcyclist going round. We say, I know you are all young people. Please, I request you to please see that we're driving a two-wheeler excellent, but don't miss wearing the helmet with a belt. Second, when I found that this is a person fell down there, and we stopped our car, rushed there, went to the nearest hospital there. Blood was not available there, because when an injury takes place, so much of blood loss takes place. When so much of blood loss takes place, that life, because we are helpless, we are running around. Though I was health secretary, I called the nearby hospital. By the time we rushed to that hospital, the person died. You know, so much pain I had. You see, when we can't make the blood available to save lives, what is a life worth living for? We have such a wonderful existence, wonderful things in our life. If you can't save lives, now coming to the what exactly, when we talk of the what exactly the role of youth. Before that, I'll give few statistics. Lal Goyalji already has mentioned that when you see the demand and supply position, COVID times this pandemic has broken many chain of good things. I'm sure it will come back to normalcy, because with the vaccine availability, increased awareness, all the steps taken by government of India and the state government and the voluntary organizations and the concerned citizens, lot of things are going to change. I am sure next 2 to 3 pandemic may continue, but we'll have greater courage, greater confidence, greater systemic interventions. Now coming to the statistics, when the Lal Goyalji mentioned that in the 12 million units, shortage there is only the 10 million units. If you take the out of that, only 52% of the blood collected comes from the voluntary donors. Remaining 48% comes from the replacement blood donors. This is, if you take that, we are capable of, if you see the total population, 60% of the population of India is capable as a blood donors. But how much you are doing? Hardly 5 to 7%. Hardly 5 to 7% of the population are donating the blood. When you come to the what exactly the youth, because I also have children, I have a daughter and son, they give blood once in 2 years, 3 years. So I'm saying that from the first myth we have to demystify among the youth. First important point to be seen is that First point, they tell that blood donation, is it safe? I may get infected, I may get some disease, etc. But absolutely, it is not true, because sterile injections will be used, sterile gloves will be used, lot of precautions. Because if you see the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, certain quality parameters are prescribed, and violation of that is punishable an offense. They will be sent to the jail. Any violator, whether those are set up the blood bank, those are organizing the blood donation camps, they are subject to the certain quality parameters under the law. So therefore, please remove that myth in your heads that it is not safe. It is safe. Second point is that we think that I have a common blood. Okay, I have A positive. Everybody have A positive. Why should I donate blood? This point you have to see that because precisely there are a large number of people of a particular blood group, your donation is a must. Your donation, because the demand will be more. People with a large number of people of a particular blood group, which is a popular or a well known, that require a greater blood donation. This is a point number 2. Second myth. Third is that they say that I am too young, I am too old. Actually, anybody above 18 years of age can donate the blood, subject to, so you have to minimum 50 kg of weight, up to 65. But whereas above 60 years, if those have not given the blood any time in their life, yes, there are certain prescriptions for that. But anybody above 18 years of age can donate the blood. In a one lifetime, you can donate the blood 500 times. You can imagine. 500 times means each blood what you donate, save, multiply by at least 10 lives. How much you are doing? This is the greatest service you are doing to mankind, to the humanity, to the world. This is a point. And for an important point, we think that blood donation, my parents will object. Tell them, convince them, because you know this is a mission. This is a mission. Everybody has to chip in. Only when you chip in, this will provide the backdrop for everything. As healthcare systems, yes, I know there are certain deficiencies. As health secretary, I have seen primary health centers, I have seen sub-centers, I have seen community health centers, I have seen taluka level hospitals, state hospitals. I have also seen the different facilities in different states, be it in Tamil Nadu, be it in Kerala, be it in Madhya Pradesh, be it in Orissa, be it in Northeast. As part of my study visits, when interstate meetings have taken place, they have seen. So I am saying that please ensure that whatever myths, first is that you demystify, you remove your myths from your head, so that you can tell your friends, you can convince them, you can tell them what exactly required for a blood donation. And then as I mentioned specifically, I refer to the one survey. This is done 2-year-old. The survey very interesting. They have done the sample size of between 18 to 25 age group. They have done the survey, and the survey results are very interesting, because some are positive points are there, some are discouraging points are there in that. Positive point is that out of the number of persons surveyed between 18 to 25 age group, 86% of those who have surveyed said that they are aware of the blood donation. Only 14% there they are not aware. This is a good sign. 86% of the youth between 18 to 25 age group said they are aware of the blood donation. Second is that how much, when we, again the survey asked that how important is the blood donation? Then the 24% said it is not important. 76% of the youth said it is important thing. This is very, very critical. You see, when the 76% of the youth said that very important, but when you see how much of them gave the blood, it's very, very surprising. See that only the 85.5% the youth surveyed, they have not donated the blood at all. Though they know what is the blood donation, they know what is important, only the 14.5% of the sample which they have surveyed, they have given the blood. So this is very, very important. 85.5 they have not given the blood even their lifetime between 18 to 25. Even the 14.5% they have given. But I am saying that if you say that universal, in many countries it is 90%, 92%, whereas we have still only 14.5% youngsters are giving blood. Though this report is a few-year-old, this study. And then one important aspect, we say that why the reasons, why you have not given the blood. So very, very interesting. Out of that, 33.9% youth surveyed said that they are scared of not only psychologically pain, They say that some injection will be there. They'll be taking. There are very, very wonderful new techniques are there. We have taken the vaccine. I have taken the vaccine. Two doses over. I've never didn't had any pain at all. Just one shot. That's all. Similarly, the blood taken that there is a where anesthetic excellent. The injections are there. You did not worry at all. They are disposable. No pain. Because you said I am afraid. डर लगता है, दर्द होता है. अरे, this is not correct. Please see that I'm trying to explain that. Point number 2 is that, see, only again 4% of the youth said that my family didn't permit. अरे यार, family didn't permit. You have to convince them. You have to tell them it is safe for dad, it is safe for mom. Take them also for a blood donation. This is the particular. I'm saying that 4% of that, and again. You see, 42%. This is I'm saying very critical number. 42% said we don't know. No specific reason for not giving the blood. So this is the 42%. If you can convince them, this 42% of the sample size, they said they don't know. They have no reasons why they have not given the blood. This is the gray area. I am saying that whatever you are talking of, 85.5% who have not given the blood. Only 14.5% given the blood. This can be reversed over a period of time. Reversed in such a way that 85.5% should give the donation. Okay, 10%, 12%, 14%, always that small size is there. Maybe if it is a single digit, excellent. That is our goal. Our goal in the future. This can be done. I am saying that why the role of youth? I am saying you are the inspirators. You are now if you see the entire country population wise, we have the demographic dividend. The population of the youngsters is now the highest in the entire world. The countries have surpassed many economic social goals when there is a population dividend, what is called demographic dividend in favor of that country. This is the crux of the issue. When the youth, when he said that youth and the blood donation, this is when the demographic dividend which is evident in India, it can be utilized properly. If the 14.5% donors can be made into 85.5%, if this role can be done, then the demand and supply position will improve substantially. This should be the goal of a one and all. And to say, I'll again mention that the blood donation, because people think that there are very good NGOs, Red Cross Society, Rashtrotana Parishad, there are many good organizations in India. Both and the corporates, they are doing that. They organize annual blood donation camps. At the same time, blood donation camp require lot of quality parameters, because organizing a big donation camp is not something populist. Not that you are doing service to yourself. Because when I heard few months ago a 70-year lady, a vegetable vendor, as serving a tea to the frontline warriors in Mysore city. Tears rolled down my eyes. This is the culture of India. This is the culture of India. When the 70-year-old lady, I should not say old lady, 70-year young lady, a vegetable vendor, out of her savings, she can serve the tea to the COVID warriors. Those who are frontline workers for almost 3 to 4 months, this is a great service. Now, advantage is that between the youth, when you are talking about the youth, your capacity to regenerate is more. As the age goes, the capacity to regenerate is less. Now at the younger age group, I am saying that when starting from 18, at least make it a practice every year. Maybe if you are afraid of every year, at least once in 2 years. Make it as a habit. Go to a safety center, as Lal Goyalji has mentioned, whether it's the blood banks, whether it's the hospitals. These are the places where special camps, whether you are studying in the colleges, your institutions also organize. If you are working in any company or a corporate or a government department, they also organize annual blood donation camps. And blood donation is not that one-time effort, it goes throughout the year. If you think that I'll wait for the blood donation camp to be announced by my company or my institution or government, don't wait for that. Blood donation is a continuous process. Because as and when the movement takes place, because particularly when I talk of the maternal mortality, even now 92% for 1 lakh births, 1 lakh deliveries, and 92 women. And then if you take the IMR, infant mortality rate, 21 deaths, 21 infant mortality rate, against 1,000 live How can we justify our existence? When we worship goddess Parvati, we worship goddess Lakshmi, we worship goddess Saraswati, all the goddesses, we talk of culture, we take the value. If you can't save the life of a mother, when you are donating the blood, it goes directly. As I specifically mentioned that, when I discussed with the drug controller in Karnataka, he gave an excellent idea. Blood bank takes certain procedural requirements, certain infrastructure, but blood storage units in the taluka level, not taluka, sub-taluka level, community health centers, and then the helpline provided to them through 108. It has saved, if you see this 108, you must be knowing, emergency transport service provided by state government. Many state governments have that. If you take the what exactly, how many emergencies, 48% of emergencies are maternal emergencies. That means 48% of the total emergencies saved under the 108 program, Arogya Kavacha program. This shows that how the transport facility, blood availability, and then early referrals and available referrals at the sub taluka level, and the availability of blood. Because I am saying that of all, we can check transport, we could provide the FRUs with the boils operators, etc. We can improve the facilities, but how about blood? That was the crux of a problem. I appeal to all youth, because I am seeing a lot of young faces here. I am so happy that you are participating. This is the issue, because everyone talks of some issue or the most contemporary relevant issue for India, for the people of India, for the society. Because once all of us realize because this is our potential, you all have. I have, because I have only once I can give, before 60 only I can give the blood. I gave once anyhow. So I am saying a couple of times. But I am saying that saving in terms of need, golden hour, when somebody meets an accident, within golden hour reaching the nearest hospital. If you go to hospital, there is no blood. This is the point. I am saying that for improving the maternal mortality and saving the lives, and then saving ourselves, because when you are saving the life, it may be unknown person, but we are all connected. Humanity is connected, irrespective of caste, creed, region, religion, language, and we are all connected. Deep within, there is a spiritual connectivity. If you realize that potential, if you realize that connectivity, I think that will be the greatest service. I am saying you are doing to the nation, doing to yourself. Justifying your existence as a human being is the greatest service to yourself. When you talk of the dharma, dharma means a duty. It has different meanings anyhow. One meaning of dharma is the duty. Duty of an individual, duty of a family, duty of a community, duty of a society, duty of a nation. If you are fulfilling your dharma, that is your dharma. Basic dharma is to help the needy. And when I am capable, I am saying that incidents are there when the people saved lives in the emergency situation. Lal Govilji mentioned the Second World War. Now, whereas in health is concerned, after the Millennium Development Goals, we have Sustainable Development Goals. One of the important criteria in the Sustainable Development Goals is IMR and MMR, and the quality healthcare services. This blood donation, availability of blood, is one of the critical points to improve the public health system in India. So this is the point I again emphasize. I request all the listeners and also the youth present in this program, please think a little, demystify whatever the apprehensions, whatever the fears you have in your minds and among your friends. Take up a campaign, and not that again I am saying that don't wait for somebody to announce the blood donation camp. It is there, continuous. Go to check parameters. I am saying that plus quality parameters, because certain blood banks try to fleece the people. It is a tragedy of the humanity. Even we have seen during the days of COVID-19 crisis, some middlemen, some people try to exploit. It's a sad thing. But anyhow, you have to think of serving the poor, serving the better needy, because blood does not have any caste, creed, region, religion, language. Blood is universal. There are whatever 4 categories which you have, that where the blood of somebody outside the country, somebody inside the country, the same. Some blood of the whatever you call so-called upper caste, lower caste, the same. Blood, the color of the blood is same. All of us are in the same boat, sir. So the community responsibility as an individual, if you discharge, it's a great service to nation. With these words, I conclude. I again thank Lal Govilji providing me an opportunity. I am sure my words will have an impact, because I have seen how youngsters changed the face of a nation. I am sure you are the face of the nation. You are going to change whatever things are deficiencies. Okay, criticizing, fine. You criticize XYZ. See the positive points in life. See the good points in life. See how you can contribute to the development of India, and also improving the healthcare system, reducing MMR, and providing the positive health parameters for the nation. Thank you so much. Once again, best of luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madan Gopal, for giving such an inspirational and motivational thoughts of you. And I'm sure that today what you have mentioned is not going to impact only those who have joined here, but those who are watching our show and those who are going to watch the show afterwards, because the blood is such which is required by almost everyone in the country or the world, whether today, tomorrow, or any time during the lifetime. The girls or the women always require at the time of delivery or any other problems, and the men also require many emergencies, many surgeries, they always require. So if we think that no, why should we give the blood, you have to think why the other will give blood to you. So if you do not want to save the life of others, why should anyone else is ready to save your life? One side youth wants to do something. When they are so positive, they must come out. When I decided to start this organ donation India Foundation about 5 years back, the challenge was at that time, or still, nobody wants to donate or pledge to donate. They are not giving right now the organs. It is only after they are brain dead. Now, people still have apprehension. My caste is not allowing, my religion is not allowing. No religion, no caste forbids you to donate organs or the blood. And blood is such a thing which anyone can donate after 3 months. That's why our chief guest has mentioned that somebody has donated several hundreds times. So when you have that power, you can save one life. Why not utilize your power? We are not God, but God has given all of you, all of us, a power. We can save others' life voluntarily without doing anything. Go donate the blood and just see the happiness, and see you will be feeling so much internal happiness yourself, that you feel that you have done something very great as a charity. It's a free service. You are not paying anything or not getting anything. Such a thing which you already have. So that is why the Blood Donors Day today, what we are celebrating or observing, is not only just because it's a 14th June, we have to do it, but we have to do it real in spirit also. Thank you very much, Mr. Madan Gopal, for giving such a inspirational talk. Now, I would like to invite my first youth guest, and she is Miss Himali Kansara. Miss Himali Kansara, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal. Now we would like to know your views on role of youth in blood donation. Miss Himali Kansara, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Himali Kansara, and I'm from Mehsana, Gujarat. And I'm currently pursuing MBA from VM Patel Institute of Management, Ganpat University. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Lal Goyal sir, Dr. Mohan Agarwal sir, and the whole team of IGMA for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak on the topic. I would also like to thank Madan Gopal sir for his views on the topic. So now I would like to give my views on the topic, the role of youth in blood donation. And I believe that today is the best day for speaking on this topic, as today is the World Blood Donor Day. So I would start by saying that it is said that you don't have to be a doctor in order to save lives. You just need to donate blood, and every blood donor is a lifesaver. Donating blood is an important activity, and it is a selfless act of humanity. Blood is needed in various instances, like it is needed by a pregnant woman having some complications, or having like complications in the childbirth or during the pregnancy. It is also needed by the children who are facing severe anemia, or accident victims, cancer patients, surgical patients, etc. There is a constant need of blood, of the regular supply of blood, because it cannot be stored for a longer period of time. So regular blood donation will ensure that there is a sufficient amount of blood whenever and wherever it is needed. Blood is the most precious gift that any person can give to anyone, as it is like giving a life to other person. So, but what role can a youth play in this drive of saving the lives? So, firstly, as Sir also told that like between the age of 18 to 65, we can any healthy person can donate blood. A person who is not having any infectious disease that can be transmitted to blood can donate blood, and blood can be donated at least twice a year. So youths themselves can voluntarily enroll themselves in this life-saving activity. In addition to donating the blood themselves, youths can also motivate the people. We have seen motivate their peers, motivate their family members, motivate their relatives in order to save the blood. And we have seen that now youths are excelling in every activity, and we have seen youths are connected with a lot of people nowadays, and the like one through lot of channels, but was one of the most important channel is social media. And in the second way, we have seen that many they have found many leads of the donors for plasma and many things. So social media is a very powerful tool, and what is more better than using this powerful tool in order to save the lives. Moreover, as sir also mentioned previously, that there are many organizations, social organizations, that are involved in such activities, in promotion of such activities of donating blood. So youths can voluntarily take part in such activities, and they can participate, and they can motivate people to donate blood. So in all, I would like to say that today's youth has a power to change the world, and I believe that youths can definitely change the world, and donating blood can definitely change the world of someone, because they are getting the lives. So start donating and motivating people for donation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Himali, for giving your very forceful thoughts about the blood donation. Yes, if youth will take a decision, and as she mentioned that twice a year, or even if you do it twice a year, it can change, because below 45 years of the age in India, the population is more than 65%. So one can imagine how much blood will be collected. And this blood is saving life. You are not, if you are giving cash to somebody, it might be that the cash may be misused. You might be donating, if you are going to a mosque, you are going to a temple, you are going to a church or a girja or a gurdwara, you might be donating some cash there, but you are not saving the life. Here you are saving the life. This is more precious than going and visiting any of the religious places than donating the blood. If you donate the blood, you have donated everything to the God. This should be the principle. If you have this principle of all of you, one can very well see to it that India will not be in that country which has been categorized where the blood donation is not voluntary. Thank you very much, Ms. Himali. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Ms. Jyotika M. Menon. Ms. Jyotika M. Menon, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, and the earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you your views on the role of youth in blood donation. Ms. Jyotika M. Menon, please.
Namaste to all. I'm Jyotika M. Menon of class 11 from Kulapati Munshi Bhavan's Vidya Mandir, Pottur, Kerala. Thank you, Goel sir. Thank you, Gopal sir, for having provided such thoughtful insights and giving me an opportunity to share my views on World Blood Donors Day. I would also like to thank my teachers who have supported me to speak on this platform. तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. When Subhash Chandra Bose raised this clarion call, the youth of our nation rallied behind him to fight for our freedom. But sadly, the requirement of blood for saving the lives of fellow citizens who are battling with their lives in the hospitals did not motivate our youth towards donating blood. As per WHO, 90% of the people who are eligible to donate blood are not currently doing so. The challenge is even more critical as blood donations have a short shelf life. Hence, regular donors are essential to secure a constant supply. Every year, our nation requires 5 crore units of blood, of which a meager of only 2.5 crore units are available, which is only 50% of the requirement. Hence, the criticality of the rarer blood groups like AB can well be imagined. We all see blood donation as a noble deed performed by a person to gift life to someone. and our society keeps the highest expectations on the youth of our country in performing such tasks. But why do our population, especially the youth, shy away from donating blood? A study conducted by Professor Rishabh S. Gupta, NKP Salve Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Center, Nagpur, has brought about the following points. 14% of the youth do not know anything about blood donation. 24% of them do not consider it as important. And 33% of them were scared of it and thought it to be a painful experience. However, there was one encouraging point in this study. 73% of the youth knew the importance of blood donation. And this survey was conducted on a sample size of 200. So, how can we motivate our youth? One way is to educate our youth through government-sponsored programs undertaken through NGOs. I personally feel that the services of senior wings of NCC and Scouts and Guides can go a long way in motivating the youth of urban and rural parts of our nation alike. These organizations are well structured and are capable to undertake this as a mission. Incentivize the youth who have undertaken this noble task, not necessarily by monetary means, but recognition through a certification program which will carry weightage in his or her career progressions. Student bodies must be encouraged to set up blood donation camps in colleges and higher education institutions. We should also create awareness among the youth about the health benefits of donating blood, which includes good health, reduced risk of cancer, and improvement in cardiovascular health. The younger generation has the highest physical and mental ability to perform tasks like blood donation, and they have the potential to save a huge number of lives across the globe. And blood donation in turn creates a united feeling among the citizens of any country. And we should encourage the youth to take up more such challenges as the future of our nation lies in their hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jyotika. And one very important point which you have raised and mentioned is about that it should be created, awareness should be created in the colleges and higher studies colleges, education colleges. Yes, that is very important. What we have seen that only on this particular day or the blood donation day, these 2 days, when these days comes, then only there are some debates or some essays written in the college. Otherwise, the whole year, nobody bothers about it. My suggestion to you is that whenever now, once you are going to college or where you must pursue your principal or the teacher, please see to it that every day or every week or once at least a month, they must create such type of awareness, such type of debates, programs, whether it's an essay program or debate program every month. So it will refresh the memory of the youth. So youth will be motivated to donate the blood. Thank you very much, Ms. Jyotika, for giving very nice suggestion. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Miss Manvita Bhatt. Miss Manvita Bhatt, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, as well as the earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in blood donation. Miss Manvita Bhatt, please.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Manvita Bhatt, first year engineering student in SMVITM Bantakal, Karnataka. It's a matter of great honor for me to talk on this Blood Donors Day about role of youth in blood donation. So blood donation is always considered as a noble act and a positive behavioral phenomenon, because by donating blood, one can save life and bring happiness in others' lives. So in one's lifetime, he or she can donate blood and save about 500 lives. So just imagine, if one can save 500 lives, then a whole lot of number of people can save millions of lives. So just by donating blood. So blood donation is necessary, we can understand by that. It is required to constantly replenish the stocks in the blood banks from where the blood is given to the needy. And blood donation is a pain-free process of about a half an hour, and the doctors use sterilized equipments to ensure the safety of the donor. So motivating people to donate blood is also necessary, because only then we'll get new more regular donors. So the age group of people who can donate blood is from 17 to 66. But after 50 or 60, normally people will start getting diseases like sugar, BP, or some other arthritis or some diseases. So they're not preferable for giving blood. They can give, but they're not preferable. So the age group who are preferable to give blood is of age group from 18 to 40, 35, 40. So they are the youths. Youth should be motivated to donate blood, but nowadays it's not the case. As this chief guest said, that according to a study, almost 14% students or youths didn't know the fact that blood could be donated. That's a bad number of students, but 76% knew the fact, and among them, a majority didn't donate and were willing to donate. But some of them had their own reasons, like fear of the pain when the needle is pricked, or after the process of donating blood, what if I faint? What if I feel? What if I get any infectious diseases? That is the biggest fear. That is not true, but one will have such things in their mind. And some other reasons were like they were unfit or underweight for giving blood and had some other diseases. So that is okay, that is fine. Some other were like I am lazy, where to donate blood, all such questions. Or for such people, what maybe they say that because they have never their family have never experienced such conditions, emergency situations where they want blood. So that's why they might be saying that. And some other reasons were like I am not allowed to. My parents don't allow me to donate blood. It is not permissible in my caste or religion. What I want to say is that's a big problem here, because nowadays what we do is we promote youth more to donate blood, but we don't care about elder persons. But I think we have to encourage more elders and spread awareness among them, because some elders who are not well educated or who are narrow-minded, they have restricted themselves from doing such a noble act, and they have restricted the children's too. But we have to create awareness among them, and we have to minimize that case. And it is believed that women can't donate blood, because since she already loses blood every month, she can't donate blood. But that is not true, because according to Red Cross services, the eligibility requirement to donate blood is from the age group of 17 to 66, and the person should be at least 50 kgs, and he should be fit during the blood transfusion process. There is no gender barrier here, and a man can donate blood for safely for every 3 months, and a woman can donate blood for every 4 months. There is no gender barrier here. Anyone can give. And there is one thing: if a person has a tattoo, or recently had got a tattoo, then unless the tattoo is cured completely, he or she can't donate blood. That is the only reason why Cristiano Ronaldo, he has no tattoo on his body. He is a frequent donor. We all know Cristiano Ronaldo is a great man. He's a great footballer. But he's a role model for everyone. But this little thing of having no tattoos on his body for donating blood is a great inspiring thing. And we want more and more such people in this world. Students of young age are the most active donors all over the world. University students can play a major role in motivating students, especially medical college students, because they know the benefits and adverse effects of donating
Please be
blood.
brief.
And what I want to say is, the people who have already donated blood can share their experience and make the other person feel positive about sharing blood and share more blood. So finally, I would like to say, I conclude by saying that a blood owner should be a blood donor, because blood cannot be prepared in a laboratory or by artificial means. So donation is the only way to give someone a second chance to live. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bhatt. And what you have made a point that people feel that why we should go, we are lazy We have seen in this COVID second wave how the youth were begging for oxygen on the streets and outside the hospitals for their near and dear. God forbids, it can come for the blood also, anytime. So if we are lazy, why we have gone on the street and asked for the oxygen for our near dear? So one has to understand medical is such a thing. It never sees any caste, creed, religion, money, no money, power, no power, politician, no politician, no one, no celebrity. It only sees if you are doing something good, you will in response will get the benefit of it. Thank you very much, Ms. Bhatt, for giving your very good positive views. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and he's Mr. Sheikh Mohammad Ajmal. Mr. Sheikh Mohammad Ajmal, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, as well as earlier youth guests. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in blood donation. Mr. Sheikh Mohammad Ajmal, please.
Good morning, sir. My name is Sheikh Mohammad Ajmal, and I'm pursuing my MBA at Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, NITE, Karkala. So first of all, I would like to thank Lal Goyal sir and Gopal sir, who has given me an opportunity to speak over here. First of all, so topic for today's discussion is the role of youth in blood donation. So first of all, I would like to say blood donation is really greatest good deed that individual has to do. But the saddest thing is that today the youth are being afraid, or they carry the fear that they have lots of negative thoughts in the mind, that if I donate, such thing will happen, and if I donate there might be problem for them, for my health. Actually, as a youth, we should have that capacity. We should become that sponge that which can absorb all the negativity, and we should emit the positive vibes, and we should motivate our friends, and even we should tell them the benefits of blood donation. That is very much important. And coming to the pandemic, there are lots of patients are being the lack of blood. They are in need of blood and plasma. But saddest thing is that the fear factor, which is not giving the youths to go out. But this should be removed actually. And how it can be removed is by the willpower. We should carry a good willpower. As we all know that where there is a will, there is a way. So when we have a mindset of that we can do, then definitely we can do. So there should be a willpower, a strong willpower. And next is about there are lots of donors who actually donate their blood every year. Very great thanks to them. But they also must see whether what they are donating is that helping the needy people or not. Even because why I say this, because last year there was a report 6 lakh liter of the blood got wastage, and it is due to the low shelf life, and this is because one of the factor. So what I say is that we have to donate the blood, but before donating we have to ensure that whatever the blood is taken is reaching the needy people or not. And as we in the weekends we go for the outings and even for the beaches, so many places, and we as a youth has to visit some hospitals. We need to find any of them required any of the blood, so that a good society can be built up, and youths can do this. And I would like to say that at last anything like if we lose the money, we can gain it again. If we lose the building or the property or the asset, we can gain it again. But the life which is gone once will never come back. So it is very much important. As a youth, we have to save life. A 3 teaspoon can save a single life of a baby. So it is very important to youth that we should have that mindset which can really help our nation, and it will really make our country very better. And we have to donate the blood at least once in a 6 month or once in a year, so that people of India can get, we have lots of manpower, and even we are good at everything. Our India is very good at everything. So I conclude by saying that as a youth, we have to focus on, we have to emit some positive vibes, and I'll eliminate the negative things. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheikh Ajmal, for giving your very positive views. I would just like to add one thing. When the youth nowadays are on the WhatsApp University and all the YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram, why not send at least one message a day about the blood donation? Circulate it among all your friends and ask them to circulate further. So if you will have this chain, you can see that you are creating the awareness without doing anything. This is the easiest thing. In 24 hours, if you make one message of you on the blood donation, which is available, you can find any images on the Google search, so many images. You just send that image to all your contacts, just send that and ask them to forward this message to others. It will create the positive impact. Few may come back to you, no, this is wrong, then you can convince them. But if we will not, we will think that others are going to do or government is going to do. No, we have to come forward and we must take the leadership in our hand, and we say, no, we are ready, and the youth have that power to do it. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheikh Ajmal, for giving your views. Now I would like to move to my next youth guest, and she is Miss Shalvi. Miss Shalvi, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, as well as all your youth guests. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in blood donation. Miss Shalvi, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, respective sir, fellow participants, and my viewers. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shalvi from Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, and I'm pursuing MBA from United Institute of Management. Before starting, I would like to thank Dr. Mohan Lal Agarwal, sir, and whole ICMA team, and Lal Goel, sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be the part of this media conference. Also, I would like to thank Sri Madhabhushi Madan Gopal sir for sharing his views. Now, I would like to share my views on the topic of role of youth in a blood donation. Yeah, the blood, by which we are alive. Blood donation is the most significant contribution by human beings. The person who donates the blood, they make the huge respect toward the society. Blood is the most precious gift that anyone can give to any other person. A decision to donate your blood can save a life or even several if your blood is separated into its component, red cells, platelets, and plasma, which can be used individually for the patients who is specific in a condition. Our blood has 5.5 liter of blood, of which only 350 ml of 450 ml of blood is taken. The withdrawal blood volume is restored within 24 hours, and hemoglobin and cells component are restored in 2 months. It is safe to donate blood in every 3 months. Blood donation is required consistently to replenish stock in blood bank. Motivating relatives to donate blood is in hospitals become a very difficult job at this time. Hence, the youth who are in the main source of our blood donors pool need to be motivated to come forward to the voluntary blood donation. Youth is the age group of 18 to 25 years. Both urban and rural were included. Majority of the youth were aware of the importance of blood donation. They had not donated blood even. We need to educate our youth more effectively to motivate them to donate blood. We can probably use youth who are already donate blood to educate, to motivate to other youth on a one basis to effectively improve blood donation. A considerable percentage of students had low awareness of and a negative attitude toward the blood donation. Hence, these two factors can be considerable as an important reason for lacking of motivation for voluntary blood donation in this population. In other words, I can say that as a young people are not properly informed about the benefit of the blood donation. And since no effort has been made so far to develop a good attitude toward the blood donation in an age group, the youth is continuing to have a little interest in a blood donation. we can conclude that there is a critical need of training and a culture building activity and program to increase people awareness and improve their attitude toward the blood donation. People who have recovered from the COVID-19 may be able to help others with the diseases by donating plasma. Their plasma can obtain antibodies to the infection. If any other person receive this plasma, it may help their body to fight the virus. The blood donation is the most that the world celebrates blood donor day on 14 June every year. This day is celebrated to raise awareness about the life-saving procedure and to promote blood donation. Donate blood in every month. And if and even in not, and even not, then at least on a 14 June every year. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Salvi, for giving your views. You mentioned that the awareness is required. There is a word called peer mentorship. You can mentor if you know what is blood donation. If you will start mentoring the others of your group, your seniors or even juniors or your own circle, it can awareness can go like a wildfire in the jungle. It will not take much time. Only thing is youth should come forward. As our chief guest has mentioned, this all depends on youth. If you people will take the decide that I have to create the awareness, you can change the scenario as far as the blood donation is concerned in India. Thank you very much, Ms. Shali, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she's Ms. Moksha Shah. Ms. Moksha Shah, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, as well as the earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you your views on the role of youth in blood donation. Ms. Moksha Shah, please.
My name is Moksha Shah. I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I am currently studying animation and VFX. It's my first year at Gujarat University. I'm thankful to both of the sir and my teacher who gave me this opportunity to speak here. So, as Sir Lal Goel sir said, that youth themselves can make everyone aware about blood donation. So, what is a blood donation?
Excuse me, Ms. Shah, can you come closer to the camera? Just
Yes,
come
sure.
closer. Yes. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
What is blood donation? So, a blood donation occurs when a person voluntarily has blood drawn and used for transfusions or made into biopharmaceutical medications by a process called fractionation. Today's youth, unlike in past times, are aware of blood donation and not only donates blood during an emergency, but regular blood donations are also made. But one of the restrictions they face during blood donation is parental restrictions. As much as the youth is aware of the blood donation, their parents are highly misguided and therefore restrict their children. These misconceptions are very minimal trust in government hospitals due to no change of syringe after a single use. Blood infections are caused by blood donation. The misconceptions about getting weak for a long term after the process of blood donation, etc. Whereas these are misconceptions and awareness should be spread that government hospitals only use single-use syringes and throw them away after the blood being drawn. Unlike past times, the government hospitals too are very aware of the infections passed through blood donations and take maximum precautions. And talking about the weakness, it is to be learned that the weakness faced after donating is temporary and the red cells regrow. Beds are provided at every blood donation bank to rest for at least 30 minutes after the donation due to weakness. Another reason for youth not donating blood is being because of the myth that after getting tattooed or pierced, you cannot donate blood, which is untrue. Many tattoo studios provide certificates that clarify otherwise. Also, after 6 months of getting tattooed, blood donation is completely safe. And not being able to donate after getting pierced is a complete myth. These are some of the myths and misconceptions in our country because of which today's youth fear or deny blood donation. Right now, India is facing a drastic fall in blood donation as the majority of blood donors are youth, majority of whom are vaccinated by COVID-19 vaccines. The majority of people believe that blood donation is not possible due to vaccination, but that is not true. Government although recommends everyone to donate blood before getting vaccinated, blood donation is possible after several days of vaccination. The number of days depend on the various COVID-19 vaccines. Out of total blood donors, the majority of them are youth, which is 21 to 30, which is 37%. Out of which total donors, females are only 17.1%, whereas male are 82.9% in India. Again, we have a deficiency of female donors due to low hemoglobin rates. Awareness amongst female youth is necessary for higher blood donation rate. At last, my message would be, please verify before you believe in statements regarding blood donation and save more lives by calling out on all the myths. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moksha Shah, for giving your views. Yes, you rightly said, please verify. You have a power. Today, you can verify. Just Google search whether this is a myth or this is fact. If you check it, you will come find out yourself that this is a myth. And if it's a myth, why not? And as she has given the figure about the women donors or the girls donor, yes, it is very unfortunate. I'm sure when we are the girls or the women always says that we are equal to men, why not they are equal to men in the blood donation? If their hemoglobin is down, they must increase the hemoglobin. That is in your own hand. It is nothing that you cannot increase your hemoglobin. You have to eat healthy. If you will eat healthy, definitely your hemoglobin will go up. And then you can definitely go out for the donating the blood. So when this is the condition, I'm sure the youth, if you people will take such type of initiative, the day is not far when the India will be coming out from that list, which is very diminishing for the country's reputation as well as the health of the country's population or the public. Thank you very much, Ms. Shah, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my last youth guest, and he is Mr. Anson Daniel. Mr. Anson Daniel, you have heard what our chief guest has spoken, Mr. Madan Gopal has spoken, as well as earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in blood donation. Mr. Anson Daniel, please.
Good morning, one and all. Thank you, Lal Goyal sir and Madmohan sir for this wonderful opportunity on this special day. Myself, Anson Daniel, completed graduation and post-graduation, and after that I was working as a volunteer worker with a different organization, blood donor organization. I have to share some important views from my experience.
In which city you are working?
I'm in Trivandrum right now, Trivandrum.
Please go ahead.
So from my experience itself, I want to share some important viewpoints why we should donate blood, not to share or not only blood is important to live. It is also mandatory that about your own health, because most of the times out of 100% when you took 3% of the donors, when they come to hospitals after the regular checkup, they will know that they will under the threat of great diseases. In fact, last year also we got an experience about that. A donor who came to hospital, and when after the sample checkup, we got a report that he is having an initial state of cancer. So in fact, is all those aspects that comes through our blood itself. If any diseases that comes up, it's we can check regularly through our blood. So that's the point. First, why should we donate blood? To be healthy. If we are healthy, then only we can donate our blood. 18 to 14 is the apt period of time, because after 40, you will know mostly what happens, blood pressure and diabetic patients, it will happen. And why frequently we should donate blood? Because dialysis patients and blood cancer patients, everyone needed blood frequently. And most important, we should have to locate the rare blood group donors, because Bombay blood group is not available everywhere. We are working in organizations, and in that what happens is that we are in search of rare group blood donors, and we want to search everywhere. That's one important thing. So we first of all, it's a request to the health ministry also in this special day, because we should have a database on the rare blood group donors. Then only we can locate them very easily. And most important, I want to direct this chat to a different session, that is automated blood collection. See, it's not important mandatory to be a regular donor. It's important that you give blood. The different components of blood is necessary for different patients. As automated blood collection is a special kind of blood donation. Instead of giving one pith of whole blood, an ABC donor gives only the component of blood needed for patients that day. It includes automated collection, therapeutic apheresis, and donating platelets is also important. You may donate platelets every 72 hours, that is 3 days. However, there is a limit of 24 platelet donations per person per week. That means you can donate platelets for 24 times in a year. And if you're a regular donor, you can donate it for at least four times in a year. And if you're ABC donor, you can donate as you like it. So there is no problem in while you donate blood frequently. So everyone is afraid of that. Well, will my weight be reduced? Will my fat be reduced? Will I have some diseases in that? No. There is a physician over there. He goes through every checkup. He takes your sample and he checks everything. And after that, if it's good, if your blood is good, you are healthy, if you're eating healthy foods, then only he will permit you to get to donate blood. So that's the most important thing. Next thing, the youths are facing psychological defect. What can we do for that? We are doing frequent counseling to all youths, because some youths, while donating blood, they used to faint. And it's because of their psychology fault. While seeing the blood color of the blood itself, they become afraid of it. So it can be cured only through psychological means. Youth have is the building block of a nation, and most importantly, as Alan Goes has told, WhatsApp University. We are using the WhatsApp, the very same platform, to spread the news of regular blood requirements in our many hospitals. As I like to quote one important incident happened 3 or 4 months before, a plane crash in Kannur airport. And what happened, if you go through the YouTube or any links of that video, youth was rushing into the hospitals to donate blood to those patients. So that's the thing. We want to save life. If we want to save life, we are enjoying fundamental rights. That means we should do our fundamental duties also. It's our turn to do the fundamental duties at a regular basis. So the three important things that I want to convey over is that one is locate the rare group. It's most important thing, because rare group patients has been falling into traps. And the second thing, create an awareness. Lack of information in Kerala, it's not happening over here. We have great information. Our health system is good. In India, all over, we should like to work with Blood Connect. Blood Connect is doing the great job over in India. And such like that, we want to develop different NGOs. Even the health ministry should have a proper databases. That's if I want to give. And to the last message that I want to add on is that if you donate blood, you will be healthy. Your family will be healthy. If you don't donate, what happens? This is a postmodern era. There is no racism, no caste, nothing, no discrimination. We are eliminating it out. So we should eliminate the barriers that no blood for anyone, no blood for outside patient. We should stop these all things. We need life. We need our own citizens to get back in our own life itself. So it's important to bring every youth. So as hearing, many would be hearing this video itself, and as hearing in the online streaming, you should be a part of India. You are a part of India. The India has developed you, and you should also be the part of India. And you should also develop Indian citizen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan Daniel, for giving your views. And you rightly said that we require a data, but for that, many of the youth have developed this blood groups on the WhatsApp. And we have seen during the emergency, immediately they activate. But the question is, that is only at the time of emergency. But if the youth will be donating the blood regularly, then whenever there is an emergency, we know that the blood is already there, and blood can be immediately be given to the victims or those who have suffered at that time. One more important point which I would like to mention about this, that if you people will decide, like as Mr. Daniel has mentioned about the rare blood group, yes, why not? But it is only possible if you have already donated or your friends have donated. Then only you will come to know what is your group. Once you will go there, get your blood group checked up, you will come to know that this is your blood group. And immediately you know that whether you are in a rare group or not. If you are in a rare group, then definitely whenever there is a need, be there and try to save life. Saving a life is going to give you the pleasure which, even if you have 100 crores of rupees, you will not get that immense pleasure, eternal pleasure, which you are going to get by saving a life. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for giving your views. Now I would like to go back to our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal. Mr. Gopal, you have heard all our youth guests, and they have given very, very good vibes, very good their thoughts about the blood donation. And if we will say that this is a sample, that these 7 youth are talking, and they are from pan India, right from Kerala to North India, UP, and to Gujarat, and everywhere, Karnataka. When they are so much awareness is there, why not government? And because you being an IAS officer and you have worked in the Ministry of Health, why not government appoint them instead of wasting money or wasting time on the celebrities? Just invest in these youth and tell them that this is the thing, we want your help, come forward. And the government, they are ready to work, all the youth are ready to donate their blood. Only thing is somebody has to show the direction. What you say? And now your concluding remark, Mr. our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, IAS, please.
Wonderful. In fact, I am so happy to see such a tremendous youthful energy among they are not 7, they are 7 million. I can consider them. Each can create an awareness among a million people. You know, that's the beauty of the youth. And then your suggestion, excellent. Yes, youth ambassadors. Already there are many departments in education department, health department, drinking water and supply, sanitation department. They have a youth ambassadors. It has not become very popular, but I am saying it's a part of the health education processes. And secondly, I have to say one important thing, technology, role of technology. In how do we, because in Karnataka, I am happy to share that Karnataka is the first state in India to create a database of the blood banks and blood availability through our drug control department. This is not done by any multinational international company. Our own NIC, National Informatics Center, helped us at that time. Karnataka Drug Control Department created a website. Anyone can, all the blood banks in India, in Karnataka, availability of blood, how much is there, how many platelets, it has helped us tremendously when dengue became a problem. I am saying that with this is a technology, use the technology. Artificial intelligence is creating a wonderful platforms. Use these algorithms, create a link to the people. Just WhatsApp, okay, it's a one way of communication. I am saying that similarly there are so many forums. You have a Koo, you have a Twitter, you have various forums. Use these forums to popularize. And one important thing, I am saying that to my message, 3C, keep it in mind. One is a choice, chance, and the change. If you exercise your choice of a choosing, choice of a chance, chance to change. If you do that, I am saying we are fulfilling our lives. I am sure there's 7 youth here. I am not just saying a 7. You know, we all know that Saptarishi. The 7 is a very magical and auspicious number. Since you have chosen the 7 the best, these 7, yes, they are like a 7 rishis, Sapta rishis, 7 clans in the Israel. I am saying that this 7 is a wonderful number. I am sure this 7 will replicate into 700, 7,000, 7 million and 7 crore. I am sure with these words, I really compliment the youth ambassadors. I am already calling them a youth ambassadors, taking this lead, expressing in a wonderful clarity. With this, I am sure, I hope many of us, in fact, those who are feeling that something not happening, when you hear this youth, we feel that world is not lost. Global, whatever the harmony, happiness is eternal. Thank you so much once again. My best wishes to all the participants and all those who are hearing this program, seeing and hearing the program. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madan Gopal, for giving again a very inspiration and motivational thoughts of you. And what you have said, I'm sure this youth, which are 7 in numbers, but they can be 700 million, as you have mentioned, can convey this message to each and everyone, not only on the 14th June, but every day in the 365 days. Thank you very much. And viewers, you have seen how the youth of India are vibrant. They are ready to donate their blood. They are ready to convince others. Why not everyone? After all, why we only look towards the government? We, the civil society, we must think. And this COVID has taught us one lesson. Nothing is more important than the health. And the blood is the basic thing in the entire health of every family, right from the elders to the child, a small newly born child also. So when the blood is so important, please be aware, come out, donate your blood, pledge, and see to it that whenever there is a requirement, you all should come and donate your blood. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, India, Newsgaon se Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. But for last 1 month, we are doing an evening program of half an hour where we call an achiever who has achieved something and for whom we look up and see what they have done. But before that, we take the life journey of that person, how they have started from the childhood and how they have reached on the top. And today's of my chief guest in the program, which is called Kal Aaj Aur Kal Lal Goyal Ke Sang. The chief guest is Padam Shri Krishna Kanhai, renowned artist with Midas Touch, Vrindavan. So he will be joining and he will be giving his childhood, life journey from the childhood till now, how he has become so popular that the government of India has awarded him with the Padam Shri, one of the highest awards in the country. So thank you very much, all the youth guests, and thank you very much, our chief guest, Mr. Madan Gopal, for giving such a inspirational views. And all our youth guests today has also shown that, yes, we have that power. And once they are showing their youth power, the day is not far when India can also say that we are the global leader as far as the blood donation is concerned. Thank you very much. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.